Hey, what's going on, y'all? Instead of my ugly mug, I wanted to show you guys something a little bit different today. But the title of this one right here is called Some Motherfuckers Just Ain't Gonna Get It. Some motherfuckers just ain't gonna get it. Group economics, real togetherism, what is definitive of what the Jewish community does to this day, where they have their own schools in their own neighborhoods, school buses to bus those children to school. You know, I had a man at Fifth Avenue Presbyterian Church, look it up. Fifth Avenue Presbyterian Church, Reverend Seamus. Hello, Reverend Seamus, if you see this. And be obliged to call Reverend Seamus and ask him if he knows me. I'm pretty sure he will agree, especially with him having family for me in the state himself. There's many people in New York. Some people just have underlying fashion to be crab motherfuckers, you know? And I woke up this morning to probably like 3 or 4 different comments that were particularly something of my liking, I'll put it that way. And what I did was I took that time and I started sitting back to myself and I said, you know what? You can't let these comments affect you. And a lot of you guys were saying that yesterday in my live. Yesterday I went live for 3 hours and 48 minutes and it's up right now. I'm just doing this pre-recording instead of going live because I want to kind of pace myself out and I might have to do a chop here, there, whatever in the edit for you guys just to understand what I'm saying. But look at these pretty dogs right here. Hey guys. Hello. And they're beauty. One's a Bichon, I believe.
Sorry.
I like dogs. That's a Bichon, correct?
A labradoodle.
A Labradoodle. Got you. Beautiful dogs, yeah? So, with that in mind, the comment section, it was pretty positive, and I love the fact that it was so positive, and everybody was, you know, wishing me the best, etc., etc., etc. And the transition has been beautiful from NY to here thus far, but it's exiting here. You know, for the type of work that I do and the type of things that I do are not consistent with this particular area. This particular area will be better for me. Had not COVID-19 happened, I think myself and other people that I'm running into that were in Boston, some people in North Carolina, other places, and they're kind of saying the same thing. You know, our work structure is meant for cities. It is, and it's nothing wrong with that. It's just the commute level was better, you know. And now I'm finding myself, and I think a lot of other people are too, we're gonna have to go even further. And like I had mentioned before, I read up, Connecticut had lost 435,000 residents before COVID-19 had started, you know, which is, I don't know, this odd to me itself because there's 3 major colleges here. One of them being UConn, the other one being Yale, which I think more of y'all are familiar with. And then there's another final college that is Connecticut College, which is an extension. So, and I would even go as far as to say Quinnipiac, you know, but this is not the place to stay anymore, I don't believe. And I think now is being proven more and more and more. Like if you're someone that's already established or you've already had a prior career and you've made financial gains instead of losses, you know, you're in debt, you don't owe on your mortgage, you're not in forbearance for the second time, you know, those things, they matter. I don't have nothing on my credit, nothing bad, nothing except for fucking $2,000 worth of interest from Sally Mae. I never leased cars. I never bought a home because I was always moving. Like, the past 16 years working for the company I work for, that's all we do, we move. Get on planes, get on trains, get on buses, whatever it takes, and we get there. And we're there for the events and all that stuff or whatever. Those are the guys again. See the dogs, guys? Hold on. There's the dogs. They're pretty dogs. That's all I know, you know what I mean? And so it's like, trying this another boat. Trying to conform to something else outside. I'm like, what am I gonna do now? I'm gonna make fucking hot dogs? Like, you know what I mean? Like, It's a really weird feeling. You know what I mean? So the best thing for me to do, I think, and I'm thinking even more so, is either the West Coast or either deeper down south. Um, those two areas are opening from a lot of production companies. They're opening because of a lot of different companies that were in New York. And as I've shown you guys on many of my lives now, including the office I used to work at, that most of these offices are empty. I mean, there's actually an article that you can look up right now, and I implore you to look it up. And just put in empty New York City. Just put in empty New York City businesses, and you'll see all the storefronts. You'll see all the skyscrapers. Everything. They got a list of them. The New York posted this like 2 weeks ago, so you'll get to see all that shit in there. And within seeing all of it, you'll understand. It'll be like, yo, word, like, yeah, it's that empty. And what I filmed for you guys, I wanted you to see that, yes, New York is really that fucked up. There are that many businesses that are still boarded up. Some just recently boarded up because their predictions or precautions rather for the election. And so it's everybody's like peril. You know what I mean? Like really peril. Everyone's like on edge. The highest recorded violence, which was one of the biggest things, and I spoke about before. I said people's mental states are in jeopardy right now from all this quarantine thing. Like my friend Gina, I just spoke to her not even yesterday, not less than 12 hours ago, I would say. And same thing over there. I checked her because everything, they're going back into lockdown. They're in lockdown to December the 1st. Now here in the Northeast, the COVID cases, including where I'm at in Connecticut, have been rising. And they're not rising because of people escaping New York. No. I've explained that before too. People leaving New York are not leaving New York because of COVID-19. They're leaving New York because there's no fucking business in New York anymore. And the world knows it. The world knows it. And if you're any type of financial advisor, planner, CPA, you know it too. It's no business in New York. And if you do have business, it's in the food industry somehow or another. If you're in any type of agriculture right now, going to New York, you'll make billions. If I had to invest with money, I'd do it myself. Have some grade A produce right now, and you'll make a ton. Because everything right now is coming in 2 to 3 weeks. You know, D'Agostino's, fucking Gristaldi's. I went to Gristaldi's just not too long ago when I was in NY. Place looks different. Say that much. They're expensive as fuck, but they got good meat in it, and the meat's cheap. That's the only weird thing about it. Everything else in the store is expensive, but the fucking meat is cheap. And it's not shit meat, it's good meat. Gristaldi's or D'Agostino's, Manhattan. Make sure you go to either one of the two. You can catch them. There's a D'Agostino's in the Bronx too, or somewhere. But yeah, New York and the tri-state itself is imploding, and this is not the place to be anymore. I went over by the old neighborhood I used to live at. If you see where that boat is right there, right? That sailboat. To the right of that sailboat is my street where I used to live at. And I lived at that street probably for a good part of 10 years. And then prior to that, I lived in that same neighborhood, but just a little bit further down in the condos. Now, when I lived there, I was paying a decent amount of rent. It was expensive for the time, and I think what a lot of people didn't get prepared for was the conformity of the fucking rent or adjustment, as we may say, for a place that's definitely not worth the dollar amount, you know. For what they're asking here, you can live lovely in Miami. Lovely. And it's not cold. And there's water every fucking where. I love the water. I'm addicted to the water. I've always lived around it. Even when I was growing up, I was around water. Yeah, it's my grandmother, that. You know what I mean? Rest her soul. Or my mother. Or my father. God rest his soul. We grew up around water. Always been around water. I mean bodies of water, you know? It's sad, man, that I have so many people try to berate me and say things about me or whatever, but there's so many more of y'all to say lovely things. And I just want to say to y'all to say lovely things, thank you. And I also want to just give you a little message. Be prepared. Things are going to change, and a lot of people that were at places at one time in their life, and your family might have been there, or you say, I'm staying here because of this or that and the other, well, things may have changed, you know? And things may have changed for the part of you may need to leave for the betterment of you, for the survival of you, for the continuation of yourself. It is called self-preservation, and there's nothing fucking wrong with it. And don't ever let somebody spill to you what you should be doing and how you should be doing it. That is the way they live their life. And I hate this fucking passive-aggressive attitude of, if you're not doing it in unison with us, it's like a group. People like literally share this group mentality, right? This is some shit from the music industry I'll drop for y'all real quick. From the music industry, people predictively all share, hold on one second because I want y'all to hear this. In the music business, people predictively and projectively all share the same social construct and idea, right? So what happens is you can predict music like that. So that's just why you have music genres, because music genres really define a psychological definition of where your brain and dopamines react to, depending on your current state of mental health or lack thereof. And it's been chosen and proven to work over and over and over again, to the fact that now you have cult followings where you have people that are definitive of said genre all wearing the same type of clothing. You understand what I'm saying? So, definitively speaking, the music and the imagery that's being promoted with the music, that's the best way to put it, the imagery that's being promoted with the music is all a synergy. And it all works together. And if you believe something different, then okay, that's great. I worked in this shit for 16 years and helped watch them when they create the shit and help promote the shit. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Still know the guys to this day, including just recently before COVID-19 hit, I was still part of something, Power Moves Makers. So, and we interviewed everybody, you know, DJ MV, Funkmaster Flex, DSMs from Revolt TV, the creator of Revolt TV, Jeff Tweed, creator of motherfucking Sean John, you know what I mean? A whole list of others. Jesus, I can keep going. Tuma Basa from YouTube, shout out to him. That is YouTube. Him and Leo. Shout out Leo. Salute. Leo Cohen. Definitely a power player and person to know. Responsible for Meg Thee Stallion's career. Currently, I believe at one point now, relations with The Rock, which makes sense. Jay and Leo go back. But yeah, man, things are different. And you got to make a decision whether you might need to bounce or whatever you may need to do. That's all I suggest to you. I'm trying to tell you something. I'm trying to say something to you. And if you choose to roll with it, then you do. If you don't, you don't, you know? All right, guys, I'll talk to you in a little bit. I appreciate you all.